Hello, Danny here. I'm going to give you an update on the crypto market. I'm going to share my screen for that. First, we look at the charts. So there were not much change on crypto, on Bitcoin. So we are still trading in that range. This could look like a triangle or pennant, bearish pennant potentially. Have to see how this plays out. If you look at the daily, in the daily we are in an we have higher lows but still lower highs. So it's a little bit indecision at the moment. If you look at the weekly, I think we see an uptrend. The uptrend is still intact from previously, so no lower low. So have to monitor it. I mean, ultimately it depends very much on legacy. So we have seen legacy markets also put pretty heavy beating and but also recovered recently, like over the past 2 days. So let's see how this plays out with Ukraine situation, global markets, 20 basis points rate hikes, which probably will continue in a couple of weeks, months. Have to see how this monetary tightening is affecting the markets. Also have to see what Russia, if Russia is defaulting potentially. Also have to watch China, what's happening there. So macro is ultimately very important. And of course, the more institutionalized crypto gets, the more big funds go in, the more correlation it will have to traditional markets, to legacy markets. So if they dump, crypto will dump. However, overall, crypto or Bitcoin held up pretty decent compared to the stock market, I think. However, usually you say that crypto is kind of happening before the is reacting before the stock market. So even if you would look at SPY, probably whatever happens in crypto likely will happen later on SPY as well. So crypto is a little bit, because it's a risk asset, so, and it's 24/7 tradable. So likelihood of pump or dump is prior to legacy markets. So I've seen over the past weeks that there is some kind of correlation. So you could actually look at what Bitcoin does over the day and then assume that something similar happens in the stock market and with the S&P 500 at least. So I've seen some correlation there. So at the moment, overall sideways, have to watch that. Some news, some bearish news, or some news. I mean, like, look, Russia Silver Bank, Spare Bank, whatever is the name, issue exchange digital asset license. So they are able kind of now, to transact with cryptocurrencies. They're launching their own cryptocurrencies via a smart contract. I've seen that. Which of course have to see how this plays out. Ultimately, sanctions are always a big topic, right? So cryptocurrency clearly allows you to avoid sanctions. So I have to see how this plays out. This is very interesting, I think, especially in regards to how other countries like the US or Europe, how they're gonna regulate that, crypto in general. Like we said before, crypto has positive and negative use cases. Here also, this is just another article from Bloomberg. EU is reviewing and they're pushing for framework for crypto. So recently they have reviewed the proof of work, electricity, energy issue, which was okay. There was the outcome was essentially that there was no vote against it. However, there's still a lot of other question marks pending. So they are most of the regulators are very, very behind, kind of. Then here Standard Chartered is doing some crypto custodian stuff, like a lot of other banks anyway, but they actually looking to help to earn yields on tokens. So they potentially open some kind of savings account, I suppose. Like if you have Ethereum, maybe you can earn 4% or something if you store it with them. So that's quite interesting if a bank adopts that. We have seen in the US, Coinbase tried to offer yields on stablecoin, and the US actually shut them out, so to say. So they only offer to non-US residents. Now we have Singapore Standard Chartered offering yield. Really have to see how this goes. Also, yield in this regard, the only non-Ponzi yield is essentially the yield you earn when providing liquidity. Like if you put USDT or Ethereum in a pool and then you provide liquidity to an exchange, there you will earn a part of the exchange fees. So you will actually earn USDT or Ethereum. Whereas other token yields, like for example, whatever, Dot or Polkadot or whatever other token yields are, where you earn token in exchange for providing liquidity or in exchange for staking, is considered as a Ponzi, in my opinion, because the market, you will just get those own token, right? So you always depend on someone to buy that token in order to actually profit from that and earn your real yield, your value. So there's these two sides of the story. I guess Standard Chartered understands that. Let's see how this goes. So this is bullish news. Also, South Korea, apparently their president or new president is pretty bullish and want to create a digital asset. So we have seen also UAE pushing forward with that stuff. There's also some controversy. So what Russia then goes to UAE and essentially to try to liquidate their cryptocurrencies, avoid sanctions again. So have to see. But UAE apparently is very crypto friendly. Now South Korea probably try to do something similar. Not sure how relevant this is. Interesting here, NFT stuff, NFT all over the place and everywhere, right? So it's just another revenue stream for many brands, a revenue stream or marketing activity. For example, Disney's Pixar is doing their Pulse NFTs. So it's pretty cool, but it's essentially it's a digital collectibles. So previously you have maybe collected the Pulse, the figures, the plastic figures or the card, and now you can store them on your computer. So if there is some more development happening in this space, like metaverse stuff, where you can actually use the digital version of that PAL, for example, in a game or something, then it's a different story. If it's just a static NFT, which is only like a JPEG, then you have to see how valuable this is. Anyway, good for adoption, I suppose, and no token, right? Because no need, no Ponzi. Instagram also launching NFTs, also interesting, and it's ultimately was inevitable since Instagram obviously is the place to do NFT stuff, right? So good adoption. Have to see how this plays out with the regulators, since Instagram and Facebook already have some issues there. And lastly, the last news is Adobe actually also does some metaverse stuff, but they don't develop. They give you tools, okay? So they actually create VR and AR software, which helps you or companies to kind of create emerge experiences, right? So metaverse, ultimately what it is kind of something like that, right? So you can, if you have those VR glasses or through your phone, you can see that stuff. Right, so yeah, that's where we go to society. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you.